we're done. Taking a break. All the local yokels are coming in now. We are taking a break. Having us a drink. Letting shit set up. Hit the rear end again. Then the front again. With the sealer. And as we were working on ours, notice I have dirt on me. Because you notice what's behind me. He showed up, or the owner of the truck showed up, and owner of that one showed up. We got to talking and that, trying to start it. Evidently doesn't know nothing about trucks. So all it did was sat there and spun over. It wouldn't freaking fire or nothing. And it's got either a C12 or a C13 cat in it. I want to say it's a C12 or could even be a C10 cat. It's a small kitty. And that. So I grabbed the plunger and started pumping on it, and it was loose as could be. There was no pressure behind it. So all the fuel was leaked back down into the tank. And then further inspection, there's a section of line about that long that somebody took and put a piece of copper tubing in there. That's a high pressure line. There's like 4 hose clamps on this side and 2 on the other side, and it's wet as can be. And I think this is your problem there, sir. Well, he's getting tired of drivers. They keep fucking up the trucks and not telling him about shit that's wrong with them. And then when they have to go to work on Monday, they can't go to work on Monday because the truck won't work. So, he told me that one's for sale. Oh. I wonder if there's as much money in dump truck as there is in van. What would you do in the wintertime? Wintertime would be, how would you say it, a bitch? Unless, of course, you're running road salt, which, that's a steel bed. That wouldn't go over very good with a steel bed. An aluminum box it would. Not a steel one. Excuse me. So, we're done. Can't really think of anything else to do to it. Besides tighten up the front. Other than that, I don't know what else to do to it. I know it needs to go back to an alignment shop. This quality truck fucked it up. They took all the shims off of this side and put them on that side. Why do that? Why pull all the shims on one side and put them on the other side? This thing wasn't tracking that bad down the road. It wasn't tracking that bad down the road, so I don't get why you'd pull all the shims on one side and put them all on the other side and just totally change everything about the drives of the truck. I don't get that. Why you wouldn't add shims to the other side and leave these shims the hell alone. I don't get that. Because I'm pretty sure this axle is tweaked. Because when you look from the back forward, the rear drive axle sticks out further than the front one does. And it's not tires or rims or shit like that. It's just the fact that it sticks out further than the front one does. It's a never-ending battle. It's a never-ending battle with this thing. I wanted to get a different truck and just save this one for the motor. Save it for the motor. And whatever other parts I could use off of it, just because of that front end. Technically, with what I've done to this truck, this thing should be riding down the road like it's, I don't know. It should go smooth down the road without any problems. Air ride drives, air ride cab, air ride front end. This thing should just glide down the road. I shouldn't feel nothing. But yet, when I go down the road, I feel like I'm on a dirt road. Between the bouncing and the shaking and the blah 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 and the blah 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 blah. I should not feel, that should not be shimmying going down the road. There's nothing wrong with the tires, nothing wrong with the rims, as far as I know. The only way I'd be able to put an air ride front end underneath this thing is it'd cost me a lot of money. I could get the rear hangers. I'd have to get a different axle, period. Because this axle won't take, I'd have to get a specially made spring or springs set for the front end. Which I'm pretty sure they're out there. I mean, it's just a matter of finding a salvage yard or somewhere that would have them. Because looking at the front end of this thing, looking at the front end of another one, Columbia, with a spring right underneath it, the front mount is totally different. Put a muffler on it. The front mount alone, the front mount looks like it mounts up under the radiator. Well, under the frame, but where the radiator's at. And on this one, there are bolts coming down through. And that. So, without drilling the frame up front in order to mount the plates and all that for doing a spring ride on the front end of this thing. I don't have the money and I don't have the time or the place to do it. Because every week I'm down working on this thing, I'm not making any money. Doesn't matter where the fifth wheel's set at. It does matter where the freight is on the trailer, but well, the brick load that I pulled out of Cincinnati up to Moni, Illinois, okay, I let them guys load it. I sat in the truck. They asked where I wanted it. I said even, and they're like, okay. So they loaded it even, and it rode like shit. It bounced, it shimmied, the whole trip, all the way up. I went over to Portage, loaded my coils, slid the fifth wheel forward a little bit, because I had the fifth wheel all the way back, slid the fifth wheel forward, put my block in there, and slid it back to the block, which is where I normally have my fifth wheel at. It normally used to ride really nice here. Well, I put those coils on, totally different ride. Totally different ride. They doubled them side by side. They were stacked too high. Technically, I could have gone a little bit further forward with them. I didn't look at it when they were loading. I was on the back end of the trailer guiding him inward and shit like that. I didn't see where he was at on the trailer. He used the painted mark on the trailer, which is 8 inches to a foot behind the center light on the trailer. So if he'd have come forward with them, I don't know, it rode all right coming up the road. I mean, I was at 70, 71 mile an hour coming up the road, so it rode all right. I mean, I don't know if there's something out of balance or what. I don't know. And the cameras I have, the GoPros I have to look underneath this thing while it's driving down the road, don't pick anything up. Don't pick anything up. That, when I'm loaded, I don't have time to be stopping and putting cameras on and pulling cameras off and pulling SD cards and putting cameras back on and readjusting them, and I don't have time to do all that shit while I'm running down the road. I mean, it'd be nice if I could have a camera mounted underneath here that I could see up in the truck. That would be freaking ideal. Screen up there, I can watch the transmission, I can watch the freaking motor, I can watch the drive shafts as I'm going down the road. That would be perfect, but who's got the money to mount something like that underneath the fucking truck? Perfect diagnostic tool, but still. I mean, in a sense, my opinion, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. Standard spring ride underneath these trucks is how they were built. You want to put air ride underneath it, they had all kinds of things that you could do aftermarket to put air ride on the front end of a fucking truck. Do that. Don't freaking do something like this to where now I have to figure out how to fix an engineer's fuck up. Literally. To me, this was a brain fart. Because now I'm stuck with it. Because technically, with this thing shimmying down the road, I can't sell this truck to anybody else. I can't. I can't bring myself to do that. That's why I was looking for another truck that if and when the time came and I needed to swap motors, I had a motor sitting I could have done it with. Oh. don't know. Found a classic. Sorry about that. Found a classic Freightliner down in West Bend. My dream truck. I've been dreaming about one of these ever since I started fucking driving. Well, ever since I seen one. I've been dreaming about one of these classics. 84-inch bunk on it. It's got a Detroit 12.7 in it, which is what I got here. I think it's got a 13-speed transmission in it. It's set up for flatbed, which is what I do. Granted, it's a Conestoga, but it's got a monster freaking headache rack on it. I mean, it's got 400,000 on it. Dude only wants 25 grand for it. I mean, that's a $50,000 truck for half the price. Then I can't get a loan for it. Thanks to COVID. Bank won't do shit for loans. Excuse me. So that's about it. That's should be 3 good videos for today. Should be some good watching for somebody. See me get all nasty, dirty. See, I don't sit when I go home. This is what I do. Whether it's on this thing, the trailer, I'm always doing something, trying to make this thing better. Always trying to do something. So, shall see you later. Probably be a little bit before I do another video, because I ain't got shit to do tomorrow. Got shit to do Sunday. The load doesn't load until after lunch on Monday. I hate dedicated freight. I really do. So, do what you do. Oh, waiting to hear from a guy. Possibly have a battery box for the bus. It's an aluminum box, kind of like my strap box on the side of this one, but for $50 over in Manitowoc. He's supposed to get a hold of me tonight, but I will get a hold of him tonight and find out if he wants to meet tomorrow morning. Then I have a battery box for the bus, because that one was rusted to hell. I'm still scared to get in that thing. I'm scared to death to get in that thing. Pull them floors up and see what the hell that looks like. We shall see. Have a good one. Smash the like and subscribe. Keep it rolling.